The sun dipped low over Mapletown, painting the sky orange and pink. A warm breeze rustled the leaves in Oak Park. 4 friends sat at a rickety picnic table under a string of twinkling lights. Mia, the tough cop with sharp eyes, popped a grape into her mouth. Lila, the doctor who always carried a little black bag, cut the chocolate cake. Tara, the lawyer with a loud laugh, poured lemonade. And Zoe, the news writer with a shiny new ring, clapped her hands. "Tonight's special," she said, her voice bubbling with excitement. The table was covered with goodies: crunchy chips, gooey marshmallows, and a cake so tall it wobbled. Fireflies blinked in the bushes. Kids ran around, giggling and chasing a soccer ball. It was the kind of night that felt perfect. "Look at this," Zoe shouted, holding up her hand. A silver ring sparkled on her finger. "I'm getting married," the friends cheered. Mia whistled. Lila hugged her. Tara yelled, "To Zoe in love." They clinked their glasses, lemonade splashing over the edges. But then, crack! A loud noise split the air. Everyone froze. The kids stopped running. The soccer ball rolled into the shadows. "What was that?" Lila whispered, her doctor bag slipping to the ground. Mia stood up fast, her cop instincts kicking in. Her hand brushed the badge on her belt. She squinted into the dark. Nothing moved, just the wind. "Maybe it's fireworks," Tara said, but her voice shook a little. Then came the scream, high and sharp, like a siren. It sliced through the park, making Zoe drop her glass. Lemonade spilled across the table. "That's no firework," Mia said, her heart pounding. She bolted toward the sound. The others followed, their shoes slapping the grass. The picnic lights faded behind them. Shadows stretched long and creepy ahead. Near the big oak tree, Mia skidded to a stop. A figure stumbled in the dark. A girl, clutching her arm. Blood dripped between her fingers, red and shiny under the moonlight. "Help!" she gasped. Her face was pale, her eyes wide with fear. Lila rushed over, kneeling beside her. "Hold still," Lila said, pulling a bandage from her bag. "What happened?" "A man. He came out of nowhere," the girl stammered. "He had a knife." Mia spun around, scanning the trees. Where was he? Her ears strained for footsteps. Then she saw it, a flicker of movement. A man in a dark jacket darted past the swings, something glinting in his hand. "There!" Mia yelled, pointing. She didn't wait. She ran. The chase was on. The man zigzagged through the park, fast as a fox. Mia's legs burned, but she wouldn't stop. He ducked behind a slide, then sprinted toward the parking lot. "Stop!" she shouted. He didn't. Something fell from his hand. A knife, sharp and bloody. It hit the grass with a thud. Mia scooped it up, the cold metal heavy in her grip. Evidence. She stuffed it in her pocket and kept running. Behind her, the park exploded into chaos. Kids screamed. Parents yelled. Zoe pulled out her phone, typing fast. "This is big news," she said, her reporter brain buzzing. Tara grabbed a stick, ready to help if Mia needed backup. Lila stayed with the girl, wrapping her arm tight. "You're safe now," Lila told her. But was she? Who was this man? What did he want? Mia closed the gap. The man tripped over a tree root, cursing loud enough for her to hear. She lunged, tackling him to the ground. Dirt flew everywhere. He thrashed like a wild animal, but Mia was stronger. "Got you," she growled, pinning his arms. His face was rough, with a scar over one eye. Sweat dripped off his chin. "Who are you?" she demanded. He glared, his teeth bared like a wolf. No answer. Sirens wailed in the distance. Red and blue lights flashed through the trees. Backup was coming. Mia tied his hands with her belt, her fingers shaking from the rush. She stood up, breathing hard. The girl's blood was on her mind. The knife was in her pocket, and the man's silence was loudest of all. Back at the picnic table, the cake sat uneaten. The party was ruined. Zoe whispered, "What's next?" Tara clenched her stick. Lila looked up from the girl. Mia stared at the man as cops hauled him away. One night, one scream, and a mystery bigger than they knew. What had they stumbled into? Mia's boots pounded the grass as she chased the man through Oak Park. Her heart thumped loud in her chest, like a drum. The night air was warm and sticky, but she didn't care. The man in the dark jacket was fast, too fast. He darted past the swings, his shadow bouncing under the moonlight. Mia gritted her teeth. She wasn't letting him get away. Not after that scream, not with that bloody knife he'd dropped. The park blurred around her. Trees loomed like giants. The picnic lights twinkled far behind, where her friends stood frozen. She heard Zoe shout, "Mia, be careful." But the words faded. All she could focus on was him. His jacket flapped like bat wings. His shoes kicked up dirt. He was heading for the parking lot, toward escape. "No, you don't," Mia muttered under her breath. She pushed harder. Her legs ached, but she was a cop. She'd trained for this. The man glanced back, his scarred face twisted in a snarl. That scar, it cut across his eyebrow like a lightning bolt. Who was he? Why had he hurt that girl? Questions buzzed in Mia's head, but she shoved them down. Catch him first. Ask later. He swerved left, ducking behind the slide. Mia followed, her hand brushing the cold metal as she passed. The knife he'd dropped was still in her pocket, bumping against her leg. It felt heavy, dangerous. She'd grabbed it when he let it fall. Shiny blade, with blood smeared on the edge. Whose blood? The girl's? Someone else's? Mia's stomach twisted. She needed answers. The man bolted toward the sandbox. Sand flew as he stumbled, slowing him down. Mia saw her chance. She leapt, closing the gap. "Stop!" she yelled, her voice sharp like a whip. He didn't listen. He scrambled up and ran again, aiming for the parking lot's edge. Cars sat quiet under the streetlights. If he got to one, he'd be gone. Mia couldn't let that happen. She dodged a picnic bench, nearly tripping. Her breath came in short gasps. Sweat stung her eyes. The man was 10 steps ahead, then 5. He reached the gravel path, his shoes crunching loud. Mia lunged forward, her fingers brushing his jacket. Almost there. He twisted away, snarling like a trapped animal. "Get off," he spat, his voice rough and mean. Then it happened. He tripped. A rock or a root. Something caught his foot. He went down hard, rolling in the dirt. Mia didn't hesitate. She tackled him, slamming into his back. They hit the ground together, gravel biting into her knees. He thrashed, swinging, an elbow at her face. She ducked, grabbing his wrists. "Stay down." she shouted. He growled, kicking like a mule. Dust clouded the air. Mia tightened her grip. He was strong, but she was tougher. She yanked her belt off with one hand, the leather snapping free. Quick as a flash, she looped it around his wrists and pulled tight. He cursed, loud and angry. "You're done," Mia said, panting. She sat back, pinning him with her knee. Her chest heaved. Her hands shook from the rush. She looked at him, really looked. His face was dirty, smeared with sweat and mud. That scar gleamed under the streetlight, ugly and deep. His eyes were dark, wild, like a cornered wolf's. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice steady now. He bared his teeth, saying nothing. His silence was loud, heavy. It made her skin crawl. What was he hiding? Sirens wailed closer. Red and blue lights flashed through the trees, bouncing off the parked cars. Backup was here. Mia stood, dragging the man up with her. He stumbled, glaring at her with hate. 2 cops ran over, their radios crackling. "Good work, Mia," one said, taking the man's arm. "We've got him." They shoved him toward a police car, his boots scraping the gravel. Mia wiped her forehead. Her pocket felt heavy. The knife was still there. She pulled it out, holding it carefully. The blood was dry now, dark and crusty. Evidence. She handed it to a cop. "Bag this," she said. "It's from the scene." The cop nodded, slipping it into a plastic bag. Mia watched, her mind racing. Was this the weapon that hurt the girl? Or was there more to this? She turned back toward the park. The swings creaked in the breeze. The picnic table sat empty, cake untouched. Zoe, Lila, and Tara stood by the oak tree, watching her. The girl, still bleeding, was with Lila, her arm wrapped in white bandages. Mia walked over, her legs wobbly from the chase. "You okay?" Tara asked, her stick still in hand. Mia nodded. "Yeah, got him." But something nagged at her. The man hadn't said a word. Not one. Why? And that knife, where did it fit? Zoe stepped closer, her phone glowing. "This is huge," she said. "What's his name? Why'd he do it?" Mia shook her head. "He's not talking." "Not yet." Lila looked up from the girl. "She's scared," Lila said. "She keeps saying he wanted her bag." Mia frowned. "A bag? What bag?" She glanced around. Nothing but grass and shadows. The girl whimpered, clutching Lila's sleeve. "He came out of the dark," she whispered. "I didn't see his face." Mia's gut tightened. This wasn't over. The chase was done. But the mystery was just starting. Police lights pulsed around them. The man sat in the car, staring out the window. His scarred face was a mask of rage. Mia met his eyes. He smirked. Just for a second, a chill ran down her spine. Who was he really? What did he want? And why did she feel like this was only the beginning? Lila knelt in the grass near the big oak tree, her doctor bag open beside her. The girl she'd found was lying there, her arm bleeding bright red under the moonlight. "Help me," the girl whispered, her voice shaky and small. Lila's heart raced. This was bad. She grabbed a clean cloth from her bag and pressed it against the girl's arm. "Don't worry," Lila said, trying to sound calm. "You'll be okay. I'm a doctor." The girl's face was pale, her eyes big and scared. She looked like she'd seen a ghost. "What's your name?" Lila asked. keeping her voice soft. The girl swallowed hard. "Amy," she said. "My name's Amy." Lila smiled a little. "Hi, Amy. I'm Lila. You're safe now." She peeked under the cloth. Yikes. The cut was deep. Blood soaked through fast. Lila grabbed a bandage and wrapped it tight around Amy's arm. "Hold still," she said. "This might sting a little." Amy winced but didn't cry. She was tough, even if she was scared. Lila's mind buzzed with questions. Who did this? Why? She glanced up at the dark park. Shadows stretched long and creepy around them. The picnic lights twinkled far away, where the party used to be. Now it was just her and Amy, and a big mystery. "What happened?" Lila asked, tying the bandage in a neat knot. Amy took a shaky breath. "A man attacked me," she said. "He came out of nowhere. He had a knife." "A knife?" Lila's stomach flipped. That sounded awful. She looked around quick, but no one was there. Just trees and bushes. "Did he say anything?" she asked. Amy nodded, her lip trembling. "He wanted my bag." Lila frowned. "Your bag? What's in it?" Amy shook her head fast. "I don't know. Just my stuff. My phone, some gum, a key. Nothing special." Lila's eyebrows went up. That didn't make sense. Why would a man with a knife want a bag of random junk? "Where's the bag now?" Lila asked, scanning the ground. Amy's eyes got wide. "It's gone. He must have taken it." Lila bit her lip. This was getting weirder by the second. A man with a knife, a missing bag, and poor Amy bleeding in the park. What was going on? She had to tell Mia. Mia was the cop. She'd know what to do. "Mia," Lila called, waving her over. Mia jogged up, her boots thumping the grass. Her face was all serious, like she was ready to fight. "What's up?" Mia asked, kneeling next to them. Lila pointed at Amy. "This is Amy. She says a man attacked her and stole her bag." Mia's eyes narrowed. "A man? The one I chased." She pulled the bloody knife from her pocket, holding it up. "With this?" Amy stared at the knife, her face going even whiter. I think so," she said. "It was dark. I didn't see much." Mia nodded, her jaw tight. "Okay, Amy. You're safe now. We caught that guy." But Lila wasn't so sure. Something felt off. She looked closer at Amy's arm. The cut was jagged, messy, not like a clean knife slice. She reached into her bag for tweezers and a tiny flashlight. "Hold on," she said. "Let me check something." She shined the light on the wound. There, a sparkle, something stuck in the cut. She carefully pulled it out with the tweezers. It was a tiny piece of glass, sharp and shiny. "Whoa," Lila said, holding it up. "This isn't from a knife." Mia leaned in. "Glass? What's that mean?" Lila shrugged. "Maybe the knife didn't do all this. Maybe something else happened." Amy frowned. "Like what?" she asked. Lila didn't know yet, but her doctor brain was spinning. Glass in a cut? That was a clue. A big one. "We need you to remember more," Lila told Amy. "Anything about the man or the bag." Amy hugged herself, shivering. "It was so fast," she whispered. "He came out of the dark. I dropped my bag, and he grabbed it. Then I felt the pain." Lila put a hand on her shoulder. "You're doing great, Amy. Take your time. But inside, Lila was worried. If the man Mia caught wasn't the only bad guy, who else was out there? And what was so special about that bag? Mia stood up, cracking her knuckles. "I'll figure this out," she said. "That guy's not talking, but I'll make him." Lila watched her march off toward the police cars, where the scarred man sat glaring. Zoe ran over next, her phone out. "Amy, you okay?" she asked. "This is huge news." Tara followed, still holding her stick. "We've got your back," she said. Amy gave a tiny smile, but her eyes were still scared. Lila sat back, holding the glass shard. It glinted like a secret waiting to spill. The park was quiet now, except for the sirens fading away. The party was wrecked, Amy was hurt, and the bag was gone. What was next? Lila didn't know, but one thing was sure. This mystery was bigger than they thought, and they were all in it together. Could they solve it before something worse happened? Only time would tell. Tara sat in her office, her desk buried under stacks of papers. The room smelled like coffee and old books, and sunlight streamed through the window, making dust dance in the air. She was a lawyer, and today she was working hard to help Amy, the girl from the park. Tara tapped her pen against her chin, thinking. The man Mia caught, his name was Jack, was going to court soon. Tara had to make sure he didn't get away with hurting Amy. But something about this case felt like a giant puzzle with missing pieces. She leaned back in her creaky chair and called out, "Amy, come in." The door squeaked open, and Amy shuffled inside. She looked nervous, her arm still wrapped in Lila's white bandages. "Hi, Tara," Amy said quietly, sitting across from her. Tara smiled big, trying to make her feel safe. "Hey, kiddo, don't worry. We're a team. I just need you to tell me what happened that night. Everything you remember." Amy fidgeted with her sleeve. "I don't know much," she said. "It was dark. I was walking by the oak tree, and this man jumped out. He grabbed my bag, and then my arm hurt." Tara scribbled notes on a yellow pad. "Did you see his face?" she asked. Amy shook her head. "Not really. He had a hood up. It all happened so fast." Tara's stomach sank. If Amy couldn't remember more, this would be tough. Jack might wiggle free like a slippery fish. "Okay," Tara said, keeping her voice steady. "What about the bag? Anything special in it?" Amy shrugged. "Just my phone, some gum, a key. Normal stuff." Tara frowned. That didn't add up. Why would Jack want a bag of boring things so bad he'd use a knife? She flipped through a folder labeled Jack's file. Inside were pictures of him, scar over his eye, mean glare, and a list of crimes he'd done before. Breaking windows, stealing bikes, fighting, rough guy. But this felt different, bigger. Tara tapped the folder. "Jack's not talking to the cops," she said. "Mia says he just sits there, smirking. We've got the knife with blood on it, but if you can't say for sure it was him." Her voice trailed off. Amy's eyes got wide. "You mean he could go free?" Tara nodded slowly. "Maybe. I need more to lock him up tight." Amy hugged herself. "I'm trying, Tara. I swear." "I know," Tara said, giving her a thumbs up. "You're brave. We'll figure this out." But inside, Tara was worried. She stared at the papers, police reports, Mia's notes, a blurry photo of the knife. Something felt wrong, like a sock that didn't match. Why was Jack so quiet? Was he hiding something? Or someone? Tara's lawyer brain kicked into gear. What if Jack wasn't the only bad guy? She grabbed her phone and texted Mia. Any news on Jack? A minute later, Mia replied, Nope, still silent, like a brick wall. Tara groaned. Then she texted Zoe, Dig up anything weird in town lately? Zoe shot back, Working on it. Heard about a stolen necklace at Mr. Gold's house. Fancy stuff. Tara's eyebrows shot up. A necklace? Another crime? Could it connect? She turned to Amy. Ever hear of Mr. Gold? Amy blinked. The rich guy? Yeah. He lives in that big house with the gold gate. Tara leaned forward. Someone stole from him last night. A necklace. Does that mean anything to you? Amy shook her head. No, I don't have fancy stuff like that. Tara sighed. Another dead end. But her gut said these crimes weren't random. She just needed a clue to tie them together. Let's try this, Tara said, pulling out a map of Oak Park. She marked the oak tree with a red X. Show me where you were. Amy pointed a shaky finger. Here, by the swings. Tara drew a line to where Mia caught Jack. He ran this way, she muttered. Dropped the knife here. She circled it. The path zigzagged like a snake. Why run that way? Was he meeting someone? Tara rubbed her temples. Okay, Amy, go rest. I'll keep digging. Amy nodded and slipped out. Alone, Tara stared at the map. Jack in jail. A missing bag. A stolen necklace. And Amy's fuzzy memory. It was a mess. She needed something solid. Proof Jack attacked Amy, or proof he didn't. Because if he didn't, who did? And why? Her phone buzzed. Zoe again. Tip from a lady. Saw a tall man in a black coat near Mr. Gold's place. Tara's heart skipped. Jack was short, not tall. Was there another thief? She grabbed her stick from the corner, her lucky one from the park, and stood up. Time to talk to Mia and the team. This case was growing legs, and Tara wasn't letting it run away. Could they crack it before court? She'd fight tooth and nail to find out. Mia stood in the middle of Oak Park, the morning sun warming her face. The grass was still damp from dew, and birds chirped in the trees. It was quiet now. No screams, no running. Just a regular day. But her cop brain wouldn't rest. Last night's chase still buzzed in her head. The man with the scar, the bloody knife, Amy's scared eyes. She thought it was over when they locked up Jack. But then she got the call. A new crime. A fancy necklace stolen from Mr. Gold's big house. Trouble was back in Mapletown. She drove her beat-up police car to Mr. Gold's place, the engine rumbling loud. His house was huge. White walls, tall windows, a gold gate that sparkled like treasure. Rich people stuff. Mia parked and stepped out, her boots crunching on the gravel driveway. A maid met her at the door, wringing her hands. Oh, officers, Mia, it's awful, she said. Someone broke in last night, took Mr. Gold's favorite necklace. Mia nodded. Show me. The maid led her inside. The house smelled like flowers and money. Fancy paintings hung on the walls, and a chandelier glittered overhead. They went to a room with a smashed window. Glass shards sparkled on the rug. Here, the maid said, pointing. Mr. Gold kept the necklace in that box. A velvet case sat open on a table, empty. Mia knelt by the window, her sharp eyes scanning. Outside, in the soft dirt, was a footprint. Big, sneaker tread. She snapped a photo with her phone. Mia muttered. She pulled out a picture of Jack's shoe from the park chase. Small, worn out, different pattern. This print didn't match. Her gut twisted. Jack was in jail all night, locked tight. So who did this? Another bad guy? She wondered aloud. The maid shivered. Mr. Gold's furious. That necklace was worth $1 million. Mia whistled. $1 million? No wonder someone risked breaking in. She stepped outside, following the footprint. It led to a bush, then stopped. Whoever it was must have jumped the fence. Mia climbed up, peering over. The street beyond was quiet. Just a cat slinking by. No clues. She hopped down and called Zoe. "Hey, reporter girl," Mia said. "Got a hot tip. Someone stole a necklace from Mr. Gold's place last night. Big footprint, not Jack's. Spread the word." Zoe's voice crackled with excitement. "Ooh, juicy. I'll write it up fast." Mia hung up and stared at the broken window. Her mind raced. Jack attacked Amy for a bag. Nothing fancy in it, just junk. Now this, $1 million necklace snatched from a rich guy's house. Were they connected? She rubbed her badge, thinking. Jack wasn't talking, just smirking in his cell. Maybe he knew something, or maybe there was a whole crew of thieves running around Mapletown, stirring up chaos. She drove back to the station, the necklace case nagging at her. Inside, she found Officer Tim at his desk, munching a donut. "Tim, pull Jack's file again," she said. He raised an eyebrow. "Why? He's locked up." Mia crossed her arms. "Humor me." Tim shrugged and handed her the folder. She flipped through. Jack's crimes were small time. Petty theft. Bar fights. Nothing like $1 million heist. But that scar, that silence, something didn't fit. "Tim, you hear anything weird last night?" she asked. He wiped crumbs off his shirt. "Yeah, actually. Old Mrs. Carter called. Said she saw a tall guy in a black coat sneaking around near Mr. Gold's street. Thought he looked shifty." Mia's eyes lit up. "Tall? Jack's short." Tim nodded. "Yup, not him." Mia paced. Another player in the game. But who? And why? She grabbed her radio. "Lila? You with Amy?" Static. Then Lila's voice. "Yeah," checking her arm. "Why?" Mia said. "Tell her about the necklace theft. See if it jogs her memory." Lila paused. "Okay, but she's still fuzzy." Mia sighed. "Try anyway." She clicked off and stared out the window. The park looked peaceful, but secrets were hiding in its shadows. Her phone buzzed. Zoe's text. "Stories live. Fancy thief strikes Mapletown. People are freaking out." Mia smirked. "Good. Let the thief sweat." She headed to Jack's cell, boots echoing on the concrete floor. He sat there, scar glinting under the light, smirking like always. "Nice try, cop," he said, before she even spoke. Mia glared. "What's that mean?" Jack leaned back. "Figure it out." Mia clenched her fists. He knew something. About the bag, the necklace, or both. But he wouldn't spill. Not yet. She stormed out, mind spinning. A footprint that wasn't Jack's. A tall man in a black coat. A missing bag with nothing special. This wasn't just one crime. It was a web, and she was tangled in it. Could she catch the fancy thief before he struck again? Time to rally the team and hunt some answers. Zoe sat at her desk in the tiny Maple Town news office, her fingers flying over the keyboard. The room was a mess. Papers stacked high, coffee cups everywhere, and a flickering lamp buzzing in the corner. Outside, the afternoon sun baked the streets, but Zoe didn't care. She was on fire with a story. Her headline glowed on the screen. Who is the fancy thief? She grinned. This was big. Bigger than the park attack. Bigger than anything she'd written before. And she was going to crack it wide open. She hit publish. And the story went live online. Words spilled across the page. The necklace stolen from Mr. Gold's fancy house. The broken window. The mysterious footprint Mia found. Zoe added, Mia's hunch. Jack couldn't have done it. Locked up tight in jail. So who was this new bad guy? She typed fast, her shiny new engagement ring flashing under the lamp. Mapletown's got a thief on the loose, she wrote. Tall, sneaky, and after shiny things. Sound familiar? Call me with tips. Her phone buzzed almost instantly. People were reading. Fast. First call. Mr. Jenkins, the grumpy guy who owned the hardware store. Zoe, I saw a shadow by my shop last night, he barked. Tall fella, dark coat. Nearly gave me a heart attack. Zoe scribbled it down. Thanks, Mr. J. Anything else? He grumbled. Just keep my tools safe. And hung up. Zoe's heart raced. A tall man in a dark coat? That matched what Mrs. Carter told Mia near Mr. Gold's place. This was gold. Next call. Mrs. Lopez, who lived by the park. I saw someone too, she said, her voice all shaky. Last night, late, he was by the swings, looking around. Wore a black coat, hood up. I thought he was lost. But now, Zoe's pen scratched the paper. Did he carry anything? She asked. Mrs. Lopez paused. Maybe a bag. Couldn't tell. It was dark. Zoe's eyes widened. A bag? Like Amy's? She thanked Mrs. Lopez and hung up, her reporter brain buzzing like a beehive. She grabbed her notebook and ran to Mia's police station, dodging kids on bikes outside. Mia was at her desk, frowning at Jack's file. Mia! Zoe yelled, bursting in. Look at this. She slapped her notes down. 2 people saw a tall guy in a black coat. One near Mr. Gold's, one by the park, and Mrs. Lopez said he might have had a bag. Mia's head snapped up. A bag? Like Amy's? Zoe nodded hard. Maybe? What if it's the same guy? Mia leaned back, rubbing her chin. Jack's short. This guy's tall. Different shoes. Different crimes. But the bag. She grabbed her radio. Lila, ask Amy if her bag was special. Color, size, anything. Zoe bounced on her toes. This is huge, Mia. I'll write it up. Mystery Man Lynx Park. Attack to necklace heist. Mia smirked. Slow down, reporter. We need proof. Zoe waved her off. I'll get it. Back at her desk, Zoe's phone kept ringing. A kid called. I saw a guy drop something shiny by the park fence. A baker said, heard footsteps outside my shop. Tall shadow ran by. Tips poured in like rain. Zoe wrote them all down, her heart thumping. Mapletown was awake now, eyes peeled for this fancy thief. She typed a new story. Tall man in black coat spotted across town. Is he the fancy thief? She added the kid's tip about the shiny thing. Could it be the necklace? Her editor, Mr. Hayes, poked his head in. Zoe, this is wild. Keep it coming. People love a mystery. Zoe grinned. Oh, I'm just getting started. She texted Tara. Court stuff with Jack. Any bag clues? Tara replied, Nada. Amy's memory's mush. Zoe groaned, but kept going. She called Lila next. Anything from Amy? Lila sighed. She says the bag was blue. Old. Nothing fancy. Still doesn't know why he wanted it. Zoe stared at her notes. Blue bag. Tall man. Necklace. Jack in jail. It was a jigsaw puzzle, and she was missing pieces. She posted on X. Mapletown. Help me. Seen a tall man in a black coat? Blue bag? Shiny stuff. Tell me. Replies flooded in. Some junk. Some gems. A lady tweeted, Saw him by the library last night. Definitely tall, coat flapping. Zoe fist pumped. Another clue. She ran to Mia again, breathless. Library sighting. Same guy. Tall, black coat. Maybe he's hiding there. Mia grabbed her keys. Let's check it out. You're a news hound, Zoe. Zoe beamed. Told you I'd dig. They sped off. Zoe's notebook clutched tight. The hunt was on. Could her stories catch this thief? She'd write till her fingers bled to find out. Mia stood in the police station, her boots tapping the floor. The clock on the wall ticked past 6 p.m., and the room buzzed with energy. She'd been turning the case over in her head all day. Jack in jail, the glass in Amy's cut, the stolen necklace, and that tall man in the black coat everyone kept seeing. It was a mess, like a knot she couldn't untie. But then it hit her. A trap. Let's catch the real bad guy, she said aloud, slamming her fist into her palm. Her team needed to move fast. She called the crew, Zoe, Lila, and Tara, to the station. They piled in, eyes bright with curiosity. What's the plan? Tara asked, twirling her lucky stick. Mia grinned. We fake him out. Zoe, write a story. Say Mr. Gold's necklace is back, hidden in Oak Park tonight. Make it juicy so the thief can't resist. Zoe's face lit up. Oh, I'm on it. Necklace returns to park. Daring thief's next target. Mia nodded. Perfect. We'll hide and nab him when he shows. Lila crossed her arms. Risky. What if he's dangerous? Mia patted her badge. I've got this. Backup's ready. 2 cops on standby. Tara smirked. I'll bring my stick. He won't know what hit him? Zoe typed fast on her phone, muttering headlines. Done. Posting now. The story flew online, spreading like wildfire. Mapletown would be watching, and so would the thief. Night fell fast. The 4 friends crept into Oak Park. The air cool and thick with tension. Stars winked above, and crickets chirped in the bushes. They picked a spot near the big oak tree. Same place Amy got hurt. Mia crouched behind a bench, her eyes scanning the dark. Zoe hid in the bushes, phone ready to record. Lila knelt by a tree, clutching her doctor bag just in case. Tara gripped her stick, stationed near the swings. Quiet now, Mia whispered. He'll come. Minutes dragged like hours. Mia's legs cramped, but she didn't move. Then, a rustle. Leaves crunched. Her heart thumped. A shadow moved near the picnic tables. Tall, lanky, wearing a black coat. Bingo. He crept closer, hood up, hands in his pockets. Mia held her breath. He stopped by the oak, looking around. "Where's that necklace?" he muttered, voice low and rough. Zoe's bush twitched. She was filming. Good. Mia waited. Let him dig himself deeper. The man pulled a flashlight, sweeping the beam over the grass. "Gold's dumb enough to lose it twice," he grumbled. He kicked a rock, then bent down, searching. Mia signaled Tara with a nod. Time to move. She sprang up, shouting, "Got you!" The man spun, eyes wide under the hood. He bolted, long legs pumping toward the parking lot. "No, you don't!" Mia yelled, chasing him. Her boots pounded the dirt, adrenaline buzzing. Tara dashed from the swings, stick raised. The man zigzagged, fast as a rabbit. "Stop!" Mia roared. He didn't. Tara lunged, swinging her stick low. It caught his ankle. Crack! And he stumbled, cursing loud. "Get off me!" he snarled, rolling in the grass. Mia pounced, pinning his arms. "You're done, buddy." He thrashed like a fish on a hook, coat flapping. Tara stood over him. "Stick ready. Stay down," she barked. Lila ran up, panting. "Anyone hurt?" Mia shook her head. "Just him." Zoe popped out, phone still rolling. "Caught on camera. This is gold." The man glared, sweat dripping down his face. No scar. Not Jack. Mia yanked his hood back, sharp nose, dark eyes. "A stranger." "Who are you?" Mia demanded, tightening her grip. He spat in the dirt. "Pete," he growled. "That's all you get?" Mia smirked. "Oh, we'll get more." Sirens wailed. Backup was here. 2 cops jogged over, cuffing Pete's hands. "Nice work, Mia," one said. She stood, brushing off her knees. Pete glared as they hauled him to the car, his coat dragging in the mud. The park went quiet again. Mia turned to her friends. "Trap worked." "He's not Jack." Zoe fist pumped. "Told you my story would hook him." Lila frowned. "But why did he come? The necklace isn't here." Tara twirled her stick. "Greed, probably. Thieves can't resist shiny bait." Mia nodded. "He knows something. About Amy, the bag, or the necklace. We'll crack him." Red and blue lights flashed through the trees. Pete sat in the cop car, staring out with a scowl. Mia met his eyes. He smirked, just like Jack. A chill ran down her spine. 2 bad guys, 1 mystery. Was Pete the tall man in the black coat? Did he hurt Amy? She'd squeeze the truth out of him, no matter what. The trap was sprung. Now the real hunt began. Mia paced the police station's interrogation room, her boots echoing on the cold floor. The clock read midnight, but she wasn't tired. Her blood was pumping too fast. Pete, the tall man in the black coat, sat across from her, handcuffs clinking on the metal table. His sharp nose and dark eyes glared back, his smirk long gone. The trap in Oak Park had worked. He'd shown up for the fake necklace story, and now he was caught. But Mia needed answers. Who was he really? What tied him to Amy, Jack, and the necklace? She slammed her hands on the table. "Talk, Pete," she said, voice hard. "Why'd you come to the park tonight?" Pete leaned back, crossing his arms as best he could with the cuffs. "Thought I'd take a walk," he said. his tone mocking. Mia didn't flinch. A walk for a necklace that wasn't there? Try again. She pulled out the bloody knife from her pocket, sealed in its evidence bag. This look familiar? Pete's eyes flicked to it, then away. Nope. Mia leaned in close. We've got you on camera, buddy. Zoe filmed you snooping around. You're the tall guy in the black coat everyone's seen. Near Mr. Gold's, by the park, the library. And I bet you're the one who stole that $1 million necklace. Pete's jaw tightened, but he stayed quiet. Mia pressed harder. What about Amy? The girl with the bag. Ring any bells? Pete's smirk twitched back for a second. Gotcha, Mia thought. She sat down, folding her arms. Here's what I think. You're the fancy thief. You hit Mr. Gold's place, snatched the necklace. But Amy? That's messier. Jack's in jail, and you're not him. So, what's your deal with her? Pete stared at the table, then let out a rough laugh. You're a smart cop, he said. Fine. I'll give you the short version. Mia's heart jumped. Finally. Go on, she said, keeping her face stone cold. Pete sighed. I stole the necklace, broke the window, grabbed it. Easy job. But Amy, she was a bonus. Mia frowned. Bonus? She's a kid. Pete shrugged. Her bag had a note. I'd been tracking it. Heard it was floating around town. Took some digging, but I found her in the park. A note? Mia's mind raced. What kind? Pete grinned, showing yellow teeth. A map. Tiny, scribbled thing. Told where Mr. Gold stashed his necklace. Some idiot courier dropped it weeks ago. Amy must have picked it up without knowing. Mia blinked. Amy's bag. Phone. Gum. Key. And a secret map? So you attacked her for it? She asked. Pete nodded. Had to. She fought, though. Dropped the bag. I grabbed it, got the note, and ran. Mia's gut twisted. The knife's Jack's. How's he fit? Pete laughed again. Jack's a nobody. Paid him $50 to run around, make a scene. Figured he'd take the heat if cops showed. Dropped the knife on purpose. Thought it'd pin him. Mia clenched her fists. Jack was a decoy. A loud, scarred distraction. And the glass in Amy's cut? She asked. Pete shrugged. She fell. Hit a bottle or something. Not my problem. The door creaked open. Tara stormed in, stick in hand, with Zoe and Lila behind her. Heard it all, Tara said. This creep's going down in court. Zoe held up her phone. Recorded every word. Front page news. Lila rushed to Mia's side. Amy's here. She needs to hear this. Mia nodded. Bring her. Amy shuffled in, bandages bright against her pale skin. She stared at Pete, eyes wide. You? She whispered. Pete smirked. Sorry, kid. Wrong place, wrong time. Amy's lip trembled. I didn't know about any note. Mia put a hand on her shoulder. We know. You're safe now. Amy sniffed. What about Jack? Pete snorted. Jack's just a pawn. Tell him I said hi in jail. Mia stood, towering over Pete. You're done. Theft. Assault. Enjoy the cell. She waved to the cops outside. Take him. They hauled Pete up, his coat dragging as he cursed under his breath. Mia turned to her friends. Puzzles solved. Pete's the thief. Jack's the fall guy. Amy's the unlucky hero. Tara twirled her stick. Court's gonna love this. Zoe typed furiously. Headline: Fancy thief caught. Map in bag cracks case. Lila hugged Amy. You're tougher than you think. Amy gave a small smile. Mia watched Pete get shoved into the cop car outside, his glare cutting through the glass. The necklace was still out there. Pete wouldn't say where, but they'd find it. For now, the truth was out. Sharp as that glass shard, Mapletown could breathe again. Until the next mystery hit, a week had passed since Pete's arrest, and the sun dipped low over Mapletown, painting the sky with streaks of orange and pink. Oak Park buzzed with life again. Kids kicked soccer balls. Fireflies flickered in the bushes, and a warm breeze rustled the leaves. The four friends gathered at their rickety picnic table, the same one from that wild night. This time, though, it felt different. No screams, no chases, just peace. They were ready to try that party again, and it was going to be epic. Mia leaned back, her cop badge glinting in the fading light. She popped a chip into her mouth, crunching loud. Feels good to sit without running after some creep, she said, grinning. Lila sliced a fresh chocolate cake, her doctor bag tucked under the table, just in case. No blood this time, she joked, passing a gooey slice to Amy, who sat with them, her arm healed, bandage gone. Tara poured lemonade, her loud laugh echoing as she splashed some on the table. To epic nights, she cheered, raising her glass. Zoe clapped her hands, her shiny new ring sparkling brighter than ever. Let's make this special. Take two, she said, her voice bubbling. The table was loaded. Crisp chips, fluffy marshmallows, a wobbly cake, and a bowl of grapes Mia kept stealing. Twinkling lights strung above them swayed in the breeze, casting a cozy glow. No mysteries tonight, Zoe added. Just us, Amy smiled shyly. Thanks for having me. After everything, Mia nudged her. You're one of us now, kid. They clinked glasses, lemonade sloshing over the rims. To Mapletown, Tara yelled. To Amy, Lila added. To catching bad guys, Mia chimed in. Zoe scribbled in her notebook. And to the best team ever. Laughter rang out, loud and free. Kids nearby stopped kicking their ball to stare, then giggled and ran off. The park felt alive again, like it had shaken off the shadows of that awful night. Mia stretched, munching another chip. Pete's locked up tight. Jack, too. Dumb guy's still mad. Pete tricked him. Tara smirked, twirling her stick. She'd brought it anyway, just for fun. Court was a slam dunk. Pete's confession, Zoe's video. Judge didn't blink. Zoe beamed. Front page hit big. Fancy thief falls. Mapletown wins. Sold out every copy. Lila nodded, and Amy's safe. That's what counts. Amy blushed. I still can't believe my bag had that map. I just picked it up off the ground one day. Thought it was trash. Mia chuckled. Trash that led Pete straight to Mr. Gold's necklace. Too bad he won't say where he stashed it. Tara leaned in, eyes gleaming. Bet it's buried somewhere. Fancy. Under a statue or something. Zoe scribbled that down. Ooh, sequel story. Hunt for the hidden necklace. Lila cut more cake, passing it around. Let's enjoy this first. No chasing tonight. But Mia's cop brain flickered. Unless it's for extra marshmallows, she said, snagging a handful. Amy giggled, the first real laugh they'd heard from her. You guys are crazy, she said. Crazy good, Tara corrected, winking. The group settled into easy chatter. the tension of the past weeks melting away like the marshmallows in the fire pit nearby. Fireflies danced closer, tiny lights blinking in the dusk. Zoe pulled out her phone. "Picture time," she said. They squished together, Mia with a goofy grin, Lila holding a cake-covered fork, Tara waving her stick, Amy tucked between them, smiling big. "Say, Maple Mystery," Zoe called. "Maple Mystery," they shouted, bursting into laughs as the flash popped. "That's a keeper," Zoe said, showing them the shot. For the next story, or our wall, the night deepened, stars popping out one by one. Mia leaned on the table. "We're a good team, huh? Cop, doctor, lawyer, reporter, and Amy, our VIP." Amy ducked her head. "I just got attacked." Lila shook her head. "You survived. That's strength." Tara raised her glass again. "To strength." They clinked once more, lemonade splashing everywhere. Zoe wrote the happy ending in her notebook. Mapletown's heroes celebrate. Peace, at last. A kid's soccer ball rolled over, and Amy hopped up to kick it back, laughing as the kids cheered. Mia watched, her chest warm. Pete was gone, Jack was done, and the necklace? They'd find it someday. For now, the park was theirs again. Cake crumbs littered the table. Fireflies glowed, and friends filled the air with noise. No mysteries tonight, just a party, loud and messy and perfect. Could they keep this calm forever? Maybe not, but they'd savor it while it lasted.